You're listening to Cars and Coffee, your local home for the latest in motorsports and automotive news here on 91.3 WHJE. And now, here's your host, Nathan Ward. Hello and welcome back to Cars and Coffee here on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward. It is Fast Friday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is the final day of the week before finals week here at Carmel High School, which means this will be my final show of the year. But if you want to keep up with us during the summer, because I will still keep the show running on YouTube, you can find us on Instagram at carsandcoffee_WHJE and follow the station, of course, at WHJE_radio. You can find live show replays and all of the shows I will do from my home setup in the summer at youtube.com/TWIRvids, and of course listen live anywhere when we return in the fall at WHJE.com. As I mentioned earlier, it's Fast Friday at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Practice has begun. Today is the day where drivers go out and tune their qualifying setups before they go out tomorrow for their 4-lap runs. There have already been some issues for major contenders. Scott Dixon revealed in yesterday's press conference that he has already gone through 4 of his engines this year. That is the maximum amount permitted by IndyCar before incurring a grid penalty. At the final preseason test of the year, the 6-time champ's engine blew up not even a lap after leaving pit lane. So Dixon showed up to St. Pete with his second engine in the car, and he used it until the race at Barber Motorsports Park earlier this month. His third engine was used at the Indy Grand Prix and the beginning of 500 practice, and the 9 team had already planned to replace the engine before 500 qualifying, because that's what most teams do, and that's what I think every team, every Honda team is doing this year. Dixon will have to take a grid penalty for most likely Detroit. He's probably going to have to take one for another race, because there's no way he gets to the end of the season on, what's it going to be, 2 engines, because he's going to use one for the 500. He's probably going to switch back to his 4th. Or no, he's going to have his 5th for qualifying. He's going to switch back to his 4th. And then he's most likely going to have to take another penalty somewhere later in the season. And that's not going to be good for the 9 teams' championship chances. Christian Rasmussen yesterday was the first to find the wall, but his damage was minimal. He spun off of turn 2 and was able to right the car on the apron, the pit exit lane, whatever you call it. Minimal damage, only scaring Kyle Larson, who was directly behind him. And speaking of Larson, Tony Kanaan completed his veteran refresher session that all drivers who haven't done an oval race since last year's 500 have to do. Kanaan is Larson's relief driver in case the 500 gets delayed, because his priority is NASCAR and taking part in the Coca-Cola 600 that night. He's going to attempt to do both. He was unable to last year because of rain in both Indy and Charlotte, but it looks good now. Race day forecast, it's still very far out. It's still over a week out. Forecast for race day right now is 72 degrees and partly cloudy and a low chance of rain. So it seems like Kanaan's services will not be needed. It would be... A lot of the public would not like if Larson had to leave, but Kanaan is a very lovable driver. So, yeah, whatever. But Kanaan has done his refresher, so now he is able to start the car if Larson needs to leave, but that looks like it's not going to need to happen. And in case Larson would have to leave mid-race, he can't do that and still have Kanaan take over the car. He either has to finish the race, or if he has to leave for Charlotte, he just has to go. For some reason, I don't know why IndyCar does this, but driver swaps, especially in this this climate, aren't allowed, which I find really weird for someone of high high public image as Kyle Larson. Like, yeah, he's doing the 500, but he's got to be in Charlotte, which is like a 2-hour flight by helicopter, or probably like an hour and a half by helicopter, from Indianapolis. So he's got to get out of there when the race is over. Like, if he wins, they're going to have to do something at the Coke 600. Like, Justin Allgaier is going to have to start this car if he wins. If he wins the 500, he's going to have to start the car in Charlotte. But anyway, so Kanaan's taking his refresher in case he needs to replace Larson. But the gist of it is Larson probably won't need to be replaced. He's doing pretty well, and doesn't seem like the weather would force him to leave early. We have one more headline that I had to add to my prep last block while I was preparing to go on air here. Kyffin Simpson had a massive accident in turn 4 where he did a 180 or like got loose middle of turn 4, did a 180, hit the wall on the left side and blew over and then came back down. It was kind of similar to what happened to Pato O'Ward in 2019 practice, and very similar to what happened to Nolan Siegel on Fast Friday last year, except Nolan Siegel went all the way over. Simpson didn't go all the way over. He landed wheels, or what was left of the wheels, down and just kind of skidded into the pit lane. And that car's done. That car is totaled. The 8 team is going to have to change to his backup car. But it's Chip Ganassi Racing, so I am hoping that's not going to put him in last row shootout contention, but the drivers that are surprisingly in last row shootout contention, one of them is unfortunately Graham Rahal, who has been mad at his car the entire weekend, or throughout practice. The Indy Grand Prix was not a good omen for him, even though he did very well. He was doing very well until a bad pit stop, but he overall had a good race, but he just can't find luck at the big track, which I find really weird. But as of me on air right now, the last update I got before going on air, because I don't have any streaming apps on my phone or anything, the top 5 here in Fast Friday so far is Scott McLaughlin with a 233.954 mile an hour lap. That is a flyer for a car that is 100 pounds heavier than it was last year. That's pretty close to the same lap as his pole lap from last year. I bet Penske can find more speed in the car, but McLaughlin is literally miles ahead of everyone else. Will Power is second with a 231.983 mile an hour lap. Christian Rasmussen is third. Ed Carpenter Racing is doing very well this month of May. Rasmussen has a 231.182, so just a little bit behind Power, still in that 231 bracket. Everyone in the top 5 is over 231. Fourth is Scott Dixon with a 231.096. And fifth is Ed Carpenter, who did not have great race pace when it came to like race boost practice throughout the early parts of this week. He was running barely in the top 30 in terms of race pace practice times, but he is fifth on the board right now at Fast Friday with a 231.054 mile an hour lap. But that is the last update, I believe. A lot of drivers haven't really gotten out there yet. Takuma Sato doesn't really have a representative lap. Rahal's lap of a 223 is representative of how bad that car is. I don't know what is going on with the Rahal team specifically, because what's been going on with Sato is understandable, because Sato totaled his primary car that was probably a pole contender in the open test. Louis Foster has been doing Devlin DeFrancesco is kind of closer to the back. Foster's doing pretty well, but overall Rahal's been better than last year. They're not like locking out the back row bad, but Graham in general has not. He is the slowest car that has set a representative lap time by a lot, and I think the lowest other car is Jacob Abel in 22nd with a 227, so nearly 4 miles an hour faster. That's not good. Not good, man. I don't know what's going on with the Rahal team, but yeah, Sato's lap's not representative. DeFrancesco and Foster are mid. They don't seem to be in any danger, but I don't know what's going on with Graham. And earlier in the week, he didn't really have to worry because the Prema cars, because Prema made the stupid decision to fire Michael Cannon pre-season. Michael Cannon, who has the best oval setups in the IndyCar paddock, they decided to fire him before the season even started. So Prema started the month of May on the back foot. They've gotten better. Robert Schwartzman, I think, is in the top 10 right now when it comes to 4-lap averages. But no one has really run a consistent no-toe 4-lap average, which Fast Friday isn't great for seeing how those full 10-mile 4-lap qualifying runs develop, because you have so many cars on the track. It's not representative of true qualifying conditions. And I think tomorrow's temperature and just weather in general will be completely different from today anyway. So that's a completely unrepresentative number. But Callum Ilott is up in the top 9, or in the top 10, yeah. Robert Schwartzman was there at some point. But Prema has bounced back from their early problems. I'm still a little bit concerned about their race pace. But at least Prema, in their first season, is looking more comfortable in qualifying trim. And I think right now, that's the most important. You still have Monday. You have Monday practice, and you have carb day to fine-tune your race pace. What's really important right now is figuring out how to qualify your car, how to get your car in the high turbo boost configuration to behave the way you want it to. And I don't think that's happening with Graham Rahal for, I don't really know what reason. I don't know if it's a driver issue, because Graham is an experienced driver, especially at the 500. He's finished on the podium here before. It's just something happened after 2021 where Graham's performance just took a tumble, and I don't know what it is. And it's his car specifically. Yeah, Rahal as a team had a couple really bad years, like 2023, Graham getting bumped by his own teammate. 2024, I think all of their cars making the last row shootout. Or wait, no, it was 2 of their cars making last row shootout. I think it was Lundgaard. Or no, it was Rahal, Harvey, Legg, and Nolan Siegel who ended up missing the race. But it's Graham specifically. Like, Rahal as a whole has bounced back a little bit. They're not great, but they're not too awful. But it's Graham specifically, and I don't know if it's just the fact that his age has caught up with him, or he's just unable to drive the heavier car, or if it's just he keeps getting the bad cars. It's weird. Like, it's always Graham, and which leads me to believe it's somewhat a driver issue, but it seems like the car is driving like a brick as well. And that could be the hybrid. It could be the extra 100 pounds that the hybrid has added. Excuse me. But it's just weird. It's strange. I don't want to go, like, I never want to blame something fully on the driver. Like, I don't want to say, this guy just sucks. Like, he's just bad. Get out, have somebody else drive. Because I don't think that's Graham's situation. Yes, he's older. Yes, he's I don't know how you put it. He doesn't have the he doesn't have the chassis blindness, I think, that Marshall Pruitt put it as, that a driver like Alex Palou has. Alex Palou has only experienced this car. Graham Rahal was at his peak on mainly high-speed ovals during the manufacturer Aero Kit era, where pretty much anyone could win a high-speed oval race. Since then, it's just been kind of going downhill, and ever since 2020 when RLO won the 500, and ever since 2021 where he kind of threw away a darn near guaranteed win when he lost the wheel during the pit stop, I think that's where the team took a tumble, and it's sad. I'd love to see Rahal succeed. Rahal is my top pick to get bumped right now. I think Prema has enough qualifying pace. I think Coyne has enough qualifying. I think Jacob Abel has enough qualifying pace to make the 500, which I really hope he does, because his car, the Miller High Life Danny Sullivan throwback, is a beautiful race car. But unfortunately, I think Graham is in the hot seat right now. He is the one who really has to step it up to get himself out of trouble here. But those are my thoughts here on this pre-qualifying show before qualifying here on Fast Friday, my final show of the year for Cars and Coffee. But we're going to take a break here. Going to cut to a song, and we're going to come back, talk about picks a little bit, because I really don't know what to do for NASCAR, the All-Star race. But we're going to talk about picks for a little bit. I'm going to talk about my expectations for the how 500 qualifying is going to go, and then we'll wrap it up here for the final Cars and Coffee of the 2024-25 school year here on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward. You're listening to Fade to Black by Metallica. Don't go anywhere. Cars and Coffee will be right back here on 91.3 WHJE. Hi, if you're listening to this, that means you're listening to the show on playback. I just want to say thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss full-length show replays when they're uploaded. If you're listening on playback on the radio, go to youtube.com/TWIRvids. If you're listening to the video on YouTube, just click the button below. Thank you so much, and let's get back to the show. We now return to Cars and Coffee on 91.3 WHJE. Hello and welcome back to Cars and Coffee here on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward. That was Fade to Black by Metallica. I forgot how long that song was. I probably should have picked a shorter one just to properly manage my time, but whatever. Only one segment this week. Already talked about Fast Friday. Let's get into what's going on this week. We have 4 things. I'm counting qualifying as a race because it is the most important Saturday of the year, at least for IndyCar. So IndyCar is at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for PPG Armed Forces qualifying. There are 2 segments of qualifying. Segment 1, Saturday, starts at noon on Saturday, May 17th on FS1, I think. You're going to have to double check me on that. I forgot to look it up before I went on air. So, whoops. But that will be setting positions 13 through 30 for the 109th running of the Indianapolis 500. The bottom 4 are not locked in. The top 12 are locked in, but they will come back on Sunday to try and better their positions. So, the Sunday session, which is in this order, Fast 12, then the last row shootout, then the Fast 6, that will start at 4 p.m., I believe, on FS1. It might be on Fox. You're going to have to do your own research there. But that is like the big thing happening this weekend. F1 is at the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari, or Imola if you're American, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. That will be Sunday at 9 a.m. on ESPN. ESPN, which I just found out is going to be dropping Formula One after the end of the season, I believe. So they're gonna Formula One's gonna have to find a new American TV partner. But these next 2 races are the ones I had a little bit of trouble picking. So NASCAR Truck Series is at North Wilkesboro Speedway for the Window World 250. That will be, I believe, Saturday at 1:30 p.m. on Fox. I believe that is the correct date. Yeah, Saturday, May 17th at 1:30 p.m. on FS1, according to Jayski's NASCAR Silly Season site. Coming in clutch for all the NASCAR stuff that I just do not care to look up. So, trucks, I think, is a pretty straightforward pick. There is one Cup driver in the field. It's Kyle Busch, and I think he's going to take everyone to school just because the driving standards of trucks have really taken a tumble over these last couple of years, other than specific little outliers like Corey Heim, who has been dominant this year. And I think it's going to be either Kyle Busch or Corey Heim, and I'm picking the guy with more experience and the guy with 200 combined NASCAR, over 200 combined NASCAR National Series wins. So I'm going to go with Kyle Busch here. Cup, I really don't have a specific pick. I think my Cup pick is just going to be whoever wins pole. I don't think North Wilkesboro is conducive to racing. And also, this race isn't even for points. It's the All-Star race. Cup race is the All-Star race Sunday, May 18th at 8 p.m. on FS1. Yeah, because there isn't a NASCAR race on network, I don't think, until NBC. I don't think until Summer Daytona. So there won't be a NASCAR race on network until August. So North Wilkesboro will be on FS1. This is a really hard one to pick because, one, it's a race that doesn't really matter. $1 million isn't a lot to these drivers anymore like it used to be in the 80s and the 90s, where the All-Star race was cool and they held it at a place that could actually have racing. No offense to North Wilkesboro. North Wilkesboro is awesome, but it's just not the best place to have an All-Star race. So, yeah, I think my sensible pick here, I think, is whoever wins pole is going to win the All-Star race. There really hasn't been any challenge to any pole sitter unless you're Daniel Suarez and Kyle Larson started behind you. That's different. But Larson's starting last for the All-Star race. I don't think he's going to go all the way through the field. It is absolutely possible because Kyle Larson is a very good driver. But I don't think it's likely. So for Cup, I'm going to keep it very vague here. I think it's just whoever wins pole is going to win. So we'll know on Saturday who wins pole for the All-Star race. So there's my very vague Cup pick. Interpret as you please. My Formula One pick, which I'm going to leave you guys with, is going to be Oscar Piastri. I think Oscar Piastri is on another level this year when it comes to finally executing in races where he starts well. He's been doing very well in practice. Would not be surprised if he wins pole. Would not be surprised if he just runs away in the race. That's just kind of how it's been working these last couple of races. Even though I picked him to win at Miami, and then Verstappen just schooled everybody. So that's my humble opinion. But those are my final picks for the school year here on Cars and Coffee here on 91.3 WHJE. My name is Nathan Ward, and thank you for listening throughout the year. We will be back next year. You can find the show on YouTube. I'm still going to continue to make stuff, put stuff out on the internet for people to listen to. You can find those on youtube.com/TWIRvids. You can follow the Instagram at carsandcoffee_WHJE and WHJ Radio. For the final time this year, this is Nathan Ward here on Cars and Coffee here on 91.3 WHJE. Here's After the Thrill Is Gone by the Eagles.